All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's pretty mind-blowing for businesses, especially as we move further into this whole AI boom. We're talking about AI agents and custom LLMs.
Definitely a huge leap from just, basic generative AI that just makes content.
Exactly. We're past the point of just creating blog posts or whatever. This is about AI that can actually like do stuff, complex tasks, and do them fast and accurately.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It is. It's almost like remember Data from Star Trek, just instantly pulling up info for Picard.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's that level of capability we're talking about here. Or think about it like Zuckerberg's whole vision, right? Every business with its own AI agent. That's the future we're diving into today.
It's exciting stuff, and it's closer than you might think.
Exactly. So what we're aiming for in this deep dive is to really make clear how these AI agents and custom LLMs can give businesses a serious edge, especially smaller ones, and, without getting too bogged down on the technical stuff.
Right, practical applications, that's the key.
Right. And we've got some great sources for this, by the way. We've got some insights from Vendasta and Philip Van Dusen, some videos they have on YouTube, and some articles from Bot Penguin, Signity Solutions, Bright Apps, LLC, all good stuff.
Sounds like a solid lineup.
It is. And the big takeaway, the thing we want you to really grasp, is that this tech, it's like having like AI employees, ready to handle all sorts of things from customer support to like crafting your whole marketing approach.
It's almost like having an entire team of experts at your disposal.
That's the idea, yeah.
And as we dig in, you'll see that this isn't just some far-off fantasy. The tools, the possibilities, they're here, ready for businesses to grab onto.
Okay, so let's break down this whole AI agent thing. Amazon, they define it as software that basically interacts with its environment, gathers data, and then does tasks on its own to hit specific goals that we, the humans, set.
Right, so it's not just passively sitting there.
No, not at all. And the key here is that they go way beyond just, simple automation. It's not like just following a set of pre-programmed instructions.
They can think on their feet, so to speak.
Exactly. They adapt to things changing, and they even learn from experience. That's the really exciting part, right? It's not static. It's constantly learning and improving. So for businesses, it's truth. They're not just automated tools. They're practically partners.
And the way they work, it's fascinating. It's like how we approach tasks, really. First, they got to perceive their environment. They do this by pulling in information from all kinds of places, like the web, social media, even a company's own internal data.
Right, so they're constantly taking it all in.
Exactly. And then they process all that information to build up an understanding of what's going on. And they actually use reasoning and analysis to, make informed decisions. And finally, they plan and execute actions.
So it's not just random actions, it's very deliberate.
Right. But the best part, they can adapt based on the feedback they get.
Oh, that's crucial.
It really is.
So it's like having this dedicated intelligence, working away in your business. And what they can do is pretty amazing. Like they can suggest new products or services by analyzing real-time trends and data. Imagine like an AI that's always watching social media for, say, a clothing store.
Picking up on emerging styles.
Exactly. And then comparing that to actual sales data to like recommend new items that'll probably be a hit. No more, just guessing or going by gut feeling.
It's like having a built-in trend spotter.
And think about how fast markets change, right? These AI agents can react to that almost instantly, like, say, competitive pricing shifts. An AI agent could automatically adjust prices on an e-commerce site, like for an electronics store, to make sure they're staying competitive.
That's like dynamic pricing on steroids.
It is, but they're not just good for sales and marketing. They can dive into, like, the nitty-gritty of operation. Say you have a local manufacturer dealing with supply chain problems. An AI agent could analyze all that data and find the weak points.
Right, where the bottlenecks are.
Yeah, and then even suggest fixes like finding other suppliers or smoother shipping routes. It's like next level problem solving.
It really is. And it brings up a good point, though. How are these AI agents different from, the simpler AI tools that people are already using, like ChatGPT? It's a question that comes up a lot.
Yeah, good question.
I mean, ChatGPT is great for certain things, but it's not quite the same thing.
No, not quite.
AI agents, they have this autonomy, right? They act independently to reach their goals. They perceive things, gather information from all around them. They react super fast, make decisions based on what they're seeing. They learn, they get better over time. They can even communicate effectively.
It's like they have their own personality almost.
In a way, yeah. And most importantly, they're designed with specific goals in mind from the get-go, and they proactively work towards them. That's a big difference.
So for small businesses, wanting to use this tech, what kinds of AI agents should they be thinking about?
Well, there are a few main types that really stand out. You've got your goals-based agents, for one. Pretty self-explanatory. Those are built to achieve very specific things.
Like managing all those customer interactions.
Exactly. Those agents are really sophisticated, using tons of data and natural language processing to, talk to both current and potential customers.
So it's not just like canned responses. They can really have a conversation.
Exactly. And then you've got utility agents. They're like the workhorses.
The ones keeping the lights on.
Pretty much. They handle core business operations. They analyze competitor pricing, figure out the best staff schedules based on, demand and labor costs. Basically, they keep things running smoothly.
And then there's what Vendasta calls the autonomous AI employee, right? That's a really cool idea.
Oh, yeah, those are the ones that can really operate independently. They can break down big, complicated tasks into smaller chunks, set their own objectives along the way, and learn from, both their successes and failures.
So it's like having an AI business consultant who just figures it all out on its own.
Right. And of course, there are other types of agents out there. You've got like simple reflex agents that just react to whatever's happening right now, model-based reflex agents, which kind of have a memory of past events, and learning agents, which refine their actions over time.
So like different levels of complexity.
Exactly. But for small businesses, those goals-based, utility, and autonomous agents are probably going to make the biggest difference right away.
Okay, so this all sounds really promising, but, are there actual tools that businesses can use right now?
Oh, absolutely. Vendasta, for example, they've got this really neat AI-assisted lead capture tool. They showed it in action with a board game company using it on their website. Instead of just giving generic chatbot answers, it could handle specific questions, like someone asking if they carry magic, the gathering cards.
Oh, so it's understanding what people are actually asking.
Exactly. And then here's the kicker. It would grab that customer's contact info. So it's not just answering, it's actively working to get you more leads.
It's like a sales assistant built into your website.
That's a great way to put it. And then there's Agent GPT, which has morphed into reworked.doai. That's a perfect example of that autonomous AI employee we were talking about. Imagine, say, you're a bakery, right? And you want to promote a new line of gluten-free stuff.
Okay, I'm following you.
Instead of just asking for some ad copy from like a regular AI, you could use Agent GPT to help you map out a whole marketing strategy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it'd outline everything. Market research to figure out your audience, defining your unique selling proposition, crafting the marketing plan itself, even pulling in relevant data from the web.
So it's like having an AI marketing guru.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've seen how AI agents can handle all these tasks, but what about making your actual product, the core thing you sell, smarter? That's where LLMs or large language models come in. And that market, about to explode.
It's going to be huge, no doubt.
But integrating AI into your product, that's not just adding a few lines of code. You need a plan, a strategy, and you got to be able to adapt as this tech keeps changing.
Right, you need to be flexible. Signity Solutions, they really emphasize that teaming up with companies that know LLMs inside and out can be super helpful.
It's like get the experts on board.
Exactly. And you got to approach this with a product mindset. You've got to be really focused on, what are the business problems you're trying to solve? What do your users actually need?
So it's not just about the tech, it's about solving problems.
Right. And you need someone to own this whole thing, a dedicated AI product owner. And you got to be honest about your team's AI skills, right? Do you need to bring in people, train up the people you've got?
Makes sense. You got to have the right people in place. Signity also talks about using an iterative, agile development approach. AI, it doesn't always behave exactly how you expect,
Got to be able to roll with the punches.
Exactly. So make changes in small steps, test everything thoroughly, and adjust as you go based on what you're actually seeing. And this is huge. You got to know what you want to get out of this whole thing. Like, what are the benefits, right? A better user experience, smoother workflows, a real boost in efficiency.
You need to be able to measure the impact.
Absolutely, because you need to know if it's worth it, right?
Of course. Now, when you're picking the right LLM for your product, there's a process for that. First, you got to be clear about your goals, right? What are you using this for? Personalized customer support, document summaries, content creation, whatever it is.
So know what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Then figure out your evaluation criteria. How accurate is the model? Can it scale? How fast is it? What's the cost? And at this stage, don't get married to any specific model. Keep your options open.
Keep it flexible.
Right.
And it's worth mentioning that a lot of these LLMs can do this thing called few-shot learning, which is great for smaller businesses. It means you can get good results without needing like a mountain of data to train them, lowers the barrier to entry. And if you have really specific needs, you can fine-tune a pre-trained model using your own data.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You can customize it to your needs.
And testing is crucial. You got to test things out in a controlled environment, play around with different prompts, really refine how you interact with the LLM.
It's about getting the most out of it. And Signity makes a good point about having a flexible design for your whole AI setup. That way you can swap out models, update things, without having to rebuild everything from scratch.
So future-proofing as much as possible.
Exactly. And since AI is changing so fast, you got to be adaptable. If people are having trouble using it, you need support, training, you need to encourage people to be open to new things. And your data, it needs to be good. Evaluate your sources, try to get a diverse set of data, and clean it up to make sure your AI is working with the best possible info.
DGO, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. And customization, that's huge too. You can tweak your LLM to fit your industry's lingo and processes.
Make it speak your language.
Right? And you'll want to experiment with prompts to, get more predictable results and cut down on errors. Ultimately, like Signity says, build your products with flexibility in mind so you can easily add updates and new AI tech as it comes along.
So stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Now, those general purpose LLMs like GPT, they're impressive, but they do have limits, especially if you have very specific needs. But Apps LLC, they point out that these models might not have deep knowledge in really specialized areas.
So they're good for general stuff, but maybe not for really niche things.
Exactly. And their results can be a bit hit or miss sometimes, maybe even a bit inaccurate because of, the massive amount of data they're trained on.
So that's where custom LLMs come in, right? Especially for small businesses.
Yeah, that's where they really shine. One of the biggest benefits is that you use data specific to your field. You train the LLM using your industry's terms, processes, everything.
So it's like an AI that really gets your business.
Right. And you control the data, which is huge these days for, trust and compliance.
Data privacy, big deal.
And the control you get with a custom LLM is amazing. Because you're working with a carefully chosen data set, you get much more consistent, reliable results. It cuts down on those weird, nonsensical outputs that you sometimes get with the more general models.
So more accuracy, fewer headaches.
Exactly. And yeah, there's an upfront cost to making a custom LM, but Bright Apps makes a good point. In the long run, it can be really cost effective. You control the costs better, and if you optimize it for your specific tasks, you can get a huge boost in efficiency.
So it's an investment that pays off.
And another big plus, private LLMs. All your sensitive data stays right there in your own system, so security and privacy are way higher.
That's peace of mind right there. So what are some of the ways these custom LLMs could be used by small businesses?
Oh man, the possibilities are pretty much endless. In healthcare, you could use them to analyze medical records and help with making decisions about patient care. For customer service, imagine having super smart chatbots that can give really personalized support 24/7.
Always there to help. What about content creation?
Oh yeah, they could write SEO optimized content that totally matches your brand's voice. Or think about education, creating personalized learning experiences for each student. In finance, you could analyze market trends and get recommendations. E-commerce, you could have personalized product descriptions. Even in law, they could help with reviewing documents and legal research. It's a long list.
So pretty much any industry can benefit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bright Apps also touches on how to train these custom LLMs. You got to carefully gather and prepare data that's specific to your field, then fine-tune a base model using that data.
It's like teaching it to be an expert in your area.
Exactly. And with all the concerns about data privacy with those public LLMs, having a private one trained on your own data is a huge advantage. More security, better compliance with regulations.
It takes a lot of the worry out of it.
So, big picture, what have we learned today?
AI agents and custom LLMs, they're a whole new level of powerful, way beyond just simple automation. They're giving businesses the tools to really step up their customer interactions, be way more efficient, and make smarter decisions. We're talking about AI employees that can give you a real leg up on the competition.
And for you listening, now's the time to start thinking about how all of this could apply to your business. Where could you use these AI-powered insights and automation?
It's about finding those areas where AI can make the biggest difference.
Yeah. And putting these tools into action, it takes planning, it takes understanding your needs, but the payoff down the road, huge. More efficiency, more personalization, better decisions.
It's a game changer, really.
It is. And, with AI moving so fast, it makes you wonder, how is this all going to reshape not just individual businesses, but whole industries? What new possibilities are out there that we can't even imagine yet?
It's an exciting time to be watching this all unfold, and even more exciting to be a part of it.
I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.